Champions. On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk, conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot during a rally on the UVU campus in Orem, Utah. The event was part of the American Comeback Tour and drew thousands of attendees. Immediately afterward, questions were raised about the security arrangements for the event, especially given the size, visibility, and profile of the speaker. What the released documents show. A public records request by media revealed that UVU provided an application for the event, submitted by the TPUSA chapter, detailing time, place, and purpose. However, critical elements were missing. The application did not include a question about whether organizers required additional police or security support. In addition, the university declined to release a security plan, citing exemptions in state records law for security measures. Reports indicate that at the event there were 6 uniformed campus officers, plus an unspecified number of plainclothes officers, for a crowd estimated at 3,000 people. There were no metal detectors, no bag checks, and no apparent control of rooftop vantage points, even though the shooter reportedly fired from a building roof 200 to 300 yards away. Collectively, these facts suggest the event proceeded with minimal formal security planning and inadequate protective layers for a high-profile speaking engagement. Why this matters? Standard expectations versus reality. When an event involved a well-known speaker, public congregation, and campus environment, standard security doctrine calls for layered protection: outer, crowd control access; middle, surveillance vantage point control; inner, close protection. The absence of those layers here is a serious lapse. Specifically, rooftop vulnerability. The shooter accessed a rooftop without apparent detection or deterrence. Security experts say this is a known risk at outdoor events. Minimal access control. No metal detectors or bag checks despite thousands of people gathering. Insufficient officer deployment. Only 6 uniformed officers for an event size and risk profile far beyond that. Lack of documented plan. The key document that would show coordination of campus, local law enforcement, and event organizers appears missing or not released. When you consider that this was a high-risk event, a civil political rally on a campus widely publicized with a controversial figure, the lack of documented robust security planning is deeply troubling. Possible causes and contributing factors. Several factors likely contributed to the lack of security planning or implementation. Venue choice and format. The event was outdoors, on a tiered amphitheater surrounded by buildings. Natural access points and rooftop angles were not sufficiently secured. Perceived risk underestimation. According to UVU officials, they did not view this event as one requiring extraordinary security, despite the speaker's profile. Organizer priorities. Some commentary suggests the speaker's team prioritized accessibility and open debate over tight security, which complicates protective planning. Campus police limitations. The UVU police chief described the situation as a police chief's nightmare. We trained for these things. Today we didn't. Coordination gaps. Reports say neither the State Department nor the FBI were involved in planning this event. These all combine to create a situation where the expected level of precaution for an event of this nature was not met. Accountability and institutional questions. In light of these revelations, critical questions arise. Why did the application for the event not ask about security requirements or whether additional law enforcement support was required? Why was no formal security plan documented or released, or at least not publicly? Did the university, event organizer, and campus police coordinate threat assessments, rooftop sweeps, and access controls? Were standard protocols, bag checks, metal detectors, vantage point monitoring considered appropriate or waived due to budget or format issues? What role did the event's outdoor location and open access play in increasing vulnerability, and why was this not mitigated? What responsibilities do university venues have when hosting politically charged, high-profile events? Without detailed documentation, transparency is limited, but the lack of a visible, comprehensive plan suggests system failure at multiple levels. Lessons for future events. This incident offers sobering lessons for institutions, event organizers, and security professionals. Always assume high risk when the speaker is high profile, the audience large, and the venue accessible. Ensure layered security, outer ring, crowd access, middle ring, surveillance monitoring, inner ring, close protection. Control vantage points, especially rooftops, nearby buildings, and elevated access, particularly outdoors. Ensure documented planning, coordination with local law enforcement, and detailed threat assessments. Absence of records is a red flag. Transparency matters. Public institutions should maintain and release event security records within legal constraints to enable oversight. Broader implications. Beyond this individual event, the implications are significant. Campus venues are increasingly used for major political and ideological gatherings. Institutions must reassess security protocols accordingly. Political violence and assassinations are rising concerns in the U.S., particularly when public figures are speaking outdoors. The risk environment is elevated. Public expectations of security at large-scale events are shifting. Failures will draw intense scrutiny. Accountability. When event security fails, institutions, organizers, and law enforcement all face reputational and legal risks. Transparency and trust. Institutions owe stakeholders, students, families, public, clear records and assurance of safety when hosting large events. At the center is the tragic death of Charlie Kirk, a high-profile figure shot while speaking on a university campus. The human loss and the vulnerability exposed of the speaker, of attendees, of institutions is hard to overstate. Many attendees later said they felt vulnerable before the incident, noting the minimal visible security. The fact that someone could carry out a long-range attack from a rooftop, seemingly unmonitored, adds a chilling dimension. In mourning, institutions often promise reviews, but the critical question is not only what went wrong, but how will it not happen again? And will there be accountability, change, documentation? If not, the failure is not just procedural, it is systemic. The released document from Utah Valley University, the application for the event that did not ask about security needs, and the absence of a public detailed security plan reveal a dangerous gap. In the case of the Charlie Kirk event, those gaps were tragically exploited. This isn't just about no paperwork. It's about a failure to anticipate, mitigate, and protect in a vulnerable context. A high-profile event, campus environment, political speech, thousands of attendees, and visible vulnerabilities. The layers of security that should have been in place simply were not. Going forward, this event should serve as a wake-up call. Institutions must elevate their security standards, ensure layered protection, document coordination with law enforcement, and not allow open-air accessibility to undermine safety, because the cost of not doing so, in this case death, cannot be measured in paperwork alone.